Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Publicly Buzzed Live. Appreciate everyone for being here. Let me turn this music down just a little bit. Yeah, I hope everyone is having a good Monday night. Unusual night for me to come on live. Usually I come on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday nights. But yeah, oh Mary, yeah, thank you. Yeah. Try to blast a little bit of good tunes in here. Glad and it's your first time here. Welcome, Mary. I hope you enjoy the show. Everyone that's in here, thank you all for coming in. As you come through the door, please hit the like. That really helps out the stream, guys. Helps get it in the old algorithm. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you dig what you see, hit the three little dots on the side if you do subscribe, and make sure you hit all so you can get all notifications in the future for when I go live, when I drop videos, or whenever I post in the community, which is pretty often. See, it's filling up in here. The house. Appreciate everybody. Strict 9 again. Mary, Willow, Jagsley, about to eat some chicken and drink some beer. It's what I like to hear. Crime Don't Play. Dan Runningheim coming in with the jokes. Firefly Unravel. Mr. Sentinel. Mountain Mama. Mama Stormy. The usual crew. Teresa, thank you all for being here. Seriously appreciate it. What the hell is going on in the Idaho 4 case, right? With the Bryan Kohberger stuff, with this new information that's dropping with Bethany Funke. Yeah, we're going to dive right into this right now. I've got a couple of different things I want to go over. One story I haven't seen anywhere else, actually talking about how Moscow, is actually getting ready for the media storm that is about to hit them very soon. So yeah, a few more people popping in here right now. Bubbly Waters, thank you very much. Bubbly Waters, thank you for sending me that email earlier. I'm actually going to show that clip as well. It's from another creator. We'll give them props when we get there. But out the gate, Bubbly Waters, thank you for sending that. Appreciate the hell out of that. Thank you, Fran. Breed love. Appreciate you being here. Hell yeah. So yeah, let me jump over here to the old internet. Right out the gate, though. Look at this. This is Brian Entin from News Nation. Again, on top of this, and also we're going to actually look at the lawyer. He went over this in great depth as well. But I did want to look at this out the gate because there's a couple of things I wanted to point out real quick that is pretty wild. That's actually called out in here. So the defense's side, Bryan Kohberger's side, and Taylor, they have their own private investigator that has been digging into this, right? The guy's name is Richard Batonti. I believe I'm saying that correctly. I apologize if I'm not. He is a criminal investigator. He has been hired by the defense to assist in the representation of Bryan Kohberger. Okay. So Bryan is charged, of course, with the murders here, the death that took place in the 3-story home. Mr. Kohberger is alleged to have entered the home at 4 a.m. Down here's where we get a little bit more interesting here. Bethany Funke's bedroom was on the first floor. The other surviving roommate's bedroom was on the second floor. Bethany Funke was interviewed by police on several occasions. She disclosed things she heard and things she saw. 10. Bethany Funke was present at the home 8 hours later when police were called and arrived on the scene and discovered the homicides. Go to the next page here. This is the most interesting thing I've seen so far. During the course of my investigation, okay, this is Richard Batonti's, again, I'm probably butchering that, Batonti, his private investigation that is done by Bryan Kohberger's defense side, right? This is what he's saying here at the end here. During the course of my investigation, it became known to me that Bethany Funke has information material to the charges against Mr. Kohberger, portions of information Miss Funke has exculpatory to the defendant. Miss Funke's information is unique to her experiences and cannot be provided by another witness. Okay. Bethany Funke resides, of course, in the state of Nevada. That's where the word foreign was coming from all the information we were looking at yesterday. Now, here's something that is absolutely disgusting. The real lawyer, is again, who pointed this out. Again, all props to him. We're going to watch him actually kind of go through this a little bit more from a lawyer's perspective. Thank you again for everyone for being here. But the grossest thing that he pointed out that I've seen right here. So, and of course, they're fighting this, right? That's where the quash comes into play. They're trying to actually make sure this doesn't happen in the pre-trial, right? They want, listen to this. Arguably, even if Miss Funke possesses exculpatory evidence, which remains unknown, there is no place, making sure that's working. There is no place or reason to present that evidence at a preliminary hearing. A preliminary hearing requires the state to offer competent evidence to support probable cause and convince the magistrate, I'm probably butchering that word as well, the magistrate, that a trial should be held, not the issue of innocence or guilt of the defendant. Exculpatory evidence is an issue for trial, which the documents presented misleadingly suggest the preliminary hearing to be. So they're basically saying right there, they don't give a shit. They don't care if she does have enough evidence to say right now and today at the pretrial, before we even get into the trial, because the pretrial is basically for them to show that they have enough, that the state has enough evidence to go forth with this so they can get a jury, right? So they can try to actually convict Kohberger in a real trial. But they're saying even if they have this information, if they can bring this forth from Miss Funke, they don't care. They don't even give a shit. They say it doesn't matter at this point in time. That's messed up to me. I thought that was absolutely insane. Anybody else that has seen that? That blew my mind earlier. I see a lot of people popping in here. Mimi720, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Everybody's still piling up in here. Dude, there's so much insanity going on. Eve Lucky, thank you. That's a new member, Eve Lucky. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's crazy. Like, that was the craziest part that I had actually seen. I got a poll up here also. Do you think Bethany Funke can give info to exonerate Bryan Kohberger? I got a yes, no, and not sure. And right now we got 48% on yes at 60 votes. I thought that was absolutely insane, though. Even if, okay, she can possess this evidence, which remains unknown. Okay, sure. There's no place or reason to present that evidence. So they're going to let an innocent man, let's just say for a second, right, that he is innocent. He is still innocent until proven guilty. There is a potential innocent man that's sitting in the jail right now that if she could present this, they're saying, nah, it's okay. We'll move forth with the jury and we'll just take our chances there. That seems fucking crazy to me, personally. Thank you all for being here. Again, Anita Hunter popping in here saying she has nothing to add. Defense is trying to use her words. And that's, I'll use that as a good point, Anita Hunter, because now that is the defense's, that's their job right now, right? They have to get Bryan Kohberger off. That's their job. That is really why they're there. But I will say, if this investigator did find something that can help Bryan Kohberger, which is very possible, it's again innocent until proven guilty, that would be absolutely nuts. A lot of stuff. Kimberly, thank you for coming in here. Appreciate it. Yeah, as you guys pop in, please hit that like. Helps me out, gets me going in the algo. But one thing I wanted to show here, I thought this was a cool video. This was sent to me. That's me trying to learn the word exculpatory so I don't fuck it up here and look like an idiot. This. And before this real quick, the channel's name is Clueminati, and I'm going to give props to them. Go give them a follow, but also Bubbly Waters. One of the best subscribers here. They've been a long time subscriber and they send me lots of cool stuff all the time. I thought this was a cool video. Again, go follow Clueminati. I'm going to play this for you guys. They make a lot of cool points in here. And again, I'm actually going to go over a little bit of what the lawyer also did today. That dude, I'm sure you guys already follow him. He's a huge channel. Great for information on stuff like this, especially when we're waiting to learn a lot of the stuff. I know at least I am personally. He's a great follow. And then we're going to go over what right now is happening in Moscow. This is local news there. They are actually holding media training seminars for the media storm that is lurking. So real quick, let's dive in to this Clueminati video. This is a new channel. I subbed up here, gave him a like, and again, props to Bubbly Waters for this. I'm gonna make sure I've got the sound correct. And I enjoyed this.
Everybody, I hope you're doing good, having a good day. I just wanted to go over the newest information to come out. And as usual with this new information, it just leaves me with so many more questions. Bethany. We haven't heard much about her. She hasn't been in the news. She hasn't made a statement. We now know she's talking through a lawyer, but let's get into this whole subpoena. So on March 23rd, Ann Taylor, Bryan Kohberger's defense lawyer, filed a motion. And in that motion, they basically stated that Bethany is a witness on the case for the defense. And the whole reason for this being filed is they basically want Latah County to help them secure her presence at the trial. First, we're going to break down what it is they're saying her part is going to be. A material witness. And that is someone who possesses facts about.
I'll address this one, Tsunami. Everyone is jumping off the Kohberger guilty train now. I'm still on that for now. Because I've in the entire time said that I hope to God they have the right guy, and even if this comes out to be that they don't have the right guy, which again, it should go through the real motions. That's what I'm here for. I want to see what's really going on here, and if they can provide some kind of evidence, something that shows me to think differently, I want to see that. Okay, there's no reason not to let the evidence speak for itself here. So at the end of the day, I still honestly think they probably have the right guy. I just want to see what they're showing here. So again, another point that was made in chat here, the defense's job is to poke holes, find anything, right? To see what they can basically challenge the state with here. So yeah, I'm still in the boat that they have the right guy until I can see this, but I'm very intrigued. This has been very intriguing.
About a case that could be helpful to law enforcement investigators, but they weren't a part of the criminal activity and did not knowingly assist in it. Basically, they have information on the case and their hands are still clean. But it's important to note an individual's status can change from a material witness to a suspect if information comes to light that shows the person's complicity in the crime. In that case, the person could be charged as an accomplice. I'm not convinced that will be the case here with Bethany, but I'm not also unconvinced, so who knows? I'm going to show y'all something that I read that makes me think this heifer just might be lying. So the reason for this motion came when a sworn testimony was submitted on March 22nd. Richard Bethany, he is a criminal investigator hired by the defense team for the alleged crimes committed by Kohberger. And y'all know I had to dig into him because, well, I'm nosy. So Richard Bethany Investigations is located in Meade, Washington.
Yeah, I thought this was cool. She actually dug into the guy we were just talking about, Richard Bethany. Batonti, I'm probably, again, butchering that. But
they primarily operate in the...
Oh, sorry, Unravel. This is Clueminati. Yeah, go give them a follow. I thought this was a cool video. This is the first video I've been turned on to, I believe. And I apologize if it's not. I see a lot of these, but Bubbly Water sent this to me, and I thought it was a cool kind of a breakdown of kind of all the stuff that we've been seeing here.
Detective and armored car services business. It's been operating for about 8 years. It generates about 45 grand a year and has 4 people employed there. Some of the goals they help you achieve: get your case dismissed before trial, prove your claims at trial, disprove the prosecutor's claims at trial, corroborate our witness and evidence, and impeach the state's witness or evidence. And this was just a review I saw for him. He's an amazing photographer.
I mean, that's literally their job. Get your case dismissed before trial, prove your claims at trial, disprove the prosecutor's claims at trial. So they're trying to do, you know, the first part, get your case dismissed before trial here. But what could he have found that makes him so, you know, sure enough to subpoena, you know, Bethany Funke and her lawyers, right?
By way of capturing the discrepancies in a clear and measurable manner. When it comes down to the details and specifics in your case, Richard produces exceptional quality work that can be confidently submitted to a higher authority. So he sounds like he knows what he's doing. What does he have to say about Bethany? Well, he says Bethany Funke, whatever, he spelled her name wrong. That's not too much attention to detail, but it is what it is. So Bethany Funke was interviewed by police on several occasions. She disclosed things she heard and things she saw. So y'all know I had to pause right here because if my memory serves me right, which it normally does, I'm pretty sure we were told that she was sleeping and didn't wake up until the very next morning. He then goes on to say, during the course of my investigation...
This is the craziest part right here. During the course of my investigation, it became known to me that Bethany Funke has information material to the charges against Mr. Kohberger. Portions of information Mr. Funke has exculpatory to the defendant. Mrs. Funke's information is unique to her experiences and cannot be provided by another witness. Okay, it's different than DM's experience that and there's multiple. Now, this is information that is under the gag order that they have that we don't have, right? That there's information in here that the lawyers have, the defense team have, that we don't have. That's what is crazy about this to me. They're out on a limb here in to us, but maybe not to them, right? Who knows what information they have? That honestly, that it seems like Bethany Funke is not interested to get done this early in a pretrial, and her lawyers aren't anyways. And again, they're saying, it's not that they don't want her to go to the pretrial because they want to wait to the actual trial. And the most messed up part, again, is right here to me. Even if she possesses exculpatory evidence, which remains unknown, there is no place or reason to present that evidence in a preliminary hearing. That's bullshit. That's crazy to me. That'd be an innocent man. I don't care if you think he's innocent or not. I don't think if you think he's guilty or not guilty. Okay. If they do possess that evidence, okay, that's the whole thing about the teams here, right? If people are so hard into the team aspect, once we actually get down into the nitty gritty of this, if it does come out to show proven fact that he is innocent, those people that are so hard on the fence and on their teams, they're stuck. They can't move. You have to have an open mind in this thing. You have to be able to move around. This whole, so you're changing your mind thing? Yeah, I'll change my mind in an instant if I can see some actual proof and details and receipts in an instant. I'm not married to any of this, and I will say that time and time again. This right here is fucking crazy. Arguably, even if Miss Funke possesses this evidence, which remains unknown, sure, they don't give a shit. That's crazy to me, man. That's messed up is what that is. Retro Rage coming up buzzed and confused level member here, Publicly Buzzed. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. P Fox coming through here. Thank you guys all for hanging out. Appreciate it. I wouldn't say that. I see Bubbly Waters. Sounds like Justin's claims are coming true. Well, if they ever find a knife in old Fry's truck, come back and talk to me. I think Justin was an absolute fucking moron. I'll stand behind that statement every day of the week. What is crazy happening in Moscow, though, that I haven't seen really anybody else talking about, is right here. They are currently preparing for a media storm, right? We'll watch a couple of videos here. Let me make sure I have these correct. Real quick. I believe it's this one.
Well, North Idaho is preparing for a media circus as court dates get closer for Bryan Kohberger. Kohberger is accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students. Nonstop Local's John Webb has a closer look at how Latah County is preparing.
AP Fox, I've seen multiple people mentioning that as well, right? This was filed the 22nd. Brady filed the 24th. What is going on here?
Yeah, good afternoon. We are at the Latah County Fairgrounds, where we just wrapped up with a media training with the Latah County Sheriff's Office. Captain Shane Anderson, who is the main PIO for the Latah County Sheriff's Office, is training several of his new PIOs for the Sheriff's Office. And they're really doing it to kind of get it ahead of the ball game in case, an instance like the homicides that happened several months ago back.
This dude is a model on the side, right? I mean, just being real.
In November happened here, so they're
Rabbit Hollow. Thank you for popping in here. Appreciate it.
Prepared. They're ready to go to get the information accurate out to the public in a timely manner. So we spent about an hour or so inside the Latah County Fairgrounds doing that mock press conference, and we went through each PIO deputy who will be in charge of public information and relationships with the media. And so they had different scenarios, and they kind of briefed us on what scenarios they exactly were beforehand. And then it was up to us to ask questions, difficult questions. And throughout that entire process, you can see different PIOs and different deputies writing down notes. You can also, we also had some PIOs who couldn't answer that question or was like, oh, I didn't think of that question would pop up. So really, it was just a good way to bond, create a relationship between the media as well as the Latah County Sheriff's Office. And coming up tonight at 5 o'clock, we talk more with Captain Shane Anderson, as well as another PIO. She's actually a deputy, but she has never had any media training at all. And when she kind of got thrown into all of this, and that's coming up tonight on Nonstop Local at 5 o'clock.
I got one more of these.
Everybody can have patience, deal with it, realize that this is not something that goes on regularly, and this is something that will be investigated fully, and we'll do what we can in the due course of time.
Making sure you know exactly what's going on with big cases in one northern Idaho community. You may remember the frustration as police in Moscow give very little information for weeks in the murders of 4 University of Idaho students. Well, if you ask people throughout the area if they thought police communicated well about the murder investigation, many would say no. Now the Latah County Sheriff's Office is using that as a training tool ahead of the trial for murder suspect Bryan Kohberger. Nonstop Local's John Webb was there to see the unique training that the Sheriff's Office went through today.
Yeah, the new PIO
He's
team.
back. This dude is a model. It's like he does news, and he does the 5 o'clock news, and then at 10 o'clock he's modeling for somebody, y'all.
For the Latah County Sheriff's Office, answering mock questions here at the Latah County Fairgrounds. They're doing it in preparation of big media events like what happened here back in November.
So the initial call came out at about 5:15.
It really depends on the charge, John. It could be a misdemeanor, it could be a felony.
Questions prompted directly to the new public information officers.
All right, that's all I will take at this time.
Captain Shane Anderson says this training is in preparation for a large media presence, including the Bryan Kohberger case, of course, if the gag order's removed.
Just trying to be prepared for that or anything else in the future.
P. Fox, I saw this today. This is actually on Brian Ensign's Twitter, too. I'm pretty sure I said that the gag order is not going to get, right here. Gag order in Bryan Kohberger case will remain. Idaho Supreme Court issued ruling today, and that was 5 hours ago. The Idaho Supreme Court has issued an anonymous opinion, 5-0, of course, dismissing an original jurisdiction action brought by a coalition of media companies. Petitioners seeking to vacate the gag order in the pending criminal action of the Bryan Kohberger trial, a high-profile murder trial. The media companies directly petitioned the Idaho Supreme Court to issue a right of mandamus of a right of prohibition to vacate the non-dissemination order issued by the court. Petitioners argued that the order violates free speech. The Supreme Court first addressed the issue of standing. The court concluded that based on the wording of the order, the petitioners had significantly alleged a potential injury resulting from a diminished ability to receive speech and effectively gather news, even though we still have leaks all the time. But yeah, it looks like that the gag order will remain per Brian Ensign anyways there.
That could come up.
Kohberger set to be back in court come June 26th. His pre-trial scheduled to last the entire week. Of those 5 days, the magistrate judge will determine if there is enough evidence to move forward with the case. It's unknown when or even if the gag order will be removed, but if it does, you can imagine the media storm. This was the scene before Kohberger was arrested, which is what they're trying to avoid. Captain Anderson says it's important to foster a good relationship with local media.
We want to create a partnership with our local media, so when a big event does happen, we have easy communication with you guys.
Easy and good communication. Today was a trial of that.
The sheriff is responding to other calls.
And that's all the questions I'm going to answer today. Everybody have a great day. What do I do with my hands?
Today we brought the tough questions that help them make note of what to do next time.
Well out of my comfort zone, but it's good for me. Haven't really done any of this before or had any, specific training for PIO.
And the Latah County Sheriff's Office says they plan to do more media training like this. In fact, one of their new PIOs will be heading to a professional media training coming in the next month. For Moscow Tonight, I'm John Webb.
John Webb.
Ever wondered why?
Keep an eye out for John Webb, guys. That guy's a freaking model. I'm telling you. And then I'm gonna kind of just play along. This may be a reaction. I may clip this out later for a reaction video. I don't know. Again, follow this dude, lawyer. This dude freaking rules. He breaks it down for dummies like me to pass it on. And I'm sure half the people who watch this are screaming at their TV screens like, you're saying it wrong half the time. And I apologize in advance, but yeah, I really dig this guy. And I'm going to look at some of this. Again, thanks everyone for popping in here. Appreciate it, guys. Again, unusual for me to be streaming here on a Monday night. Again, a regular show will be happening tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow night I'll actually have a special guest. I'm not going to tell you who yet. I need to make sure that's still all ready to rock and roll. He has a little bit of a thing going on, and if everything still works out tomorrow should be a fun show. And then of course Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time per usual, and then Friday nights are the one to be at. Mary, I know you're new here. Friday nights, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's when we get a little bit crazy. Now right here, Gator93 popping in here, new name. Thank you for popping in. Appreciate it. And yeah, but if there's anyone that I could say check out for, look out for, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, Publicly Buzzed live. We get a little bit crazier. Don't have to work the next day. Get a little bit more drink in us, a little bit more of the vices, if you will. Have a little bit more fun in here, as much as you can when you're going over stuff like this. But
together to get this out-of-state subpoena done. She does not represent Bethany Funke. We talked about this earlier. We didn't know which subpoena did what. I'm sorry, which lawyer did what. All right, here's the index of exhibits, and here's exhibit 1.
Love Tina.
And this is where I'm going to
Thank you for popping in here. What do you think about all this craziness going on today, Tina?
actually hop over to Brian Etten's tweet because I think the
Jamie,
document is a little clearer, hopefully for you guys. And we're going to start with
Indigo Bay. What's going on?
The magistrate judge. Having considered the defendant's ex parte motion for certificate to secure the attendance of an out-of-state witness and the affidavit of Richard Bitanti, we'll try that again when it comes up for his affidavit, in support of said motion, the court being otherwise fully advised herein, here is what Megan Marshall
Craziness,
says.
right?
She is a magistrate judge for the 2nd Judicial District of the state of Idaho, which is a constitutionally and statutorily prescribed court of record in the state of Idaho. And just FYI, I have not read every word of these. I've skimmed some of them. So we are going to read every word together and react here and, of course, answer your questions. In this case, Bryan Kohberger is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder under Idaho Code 184003, which is punishable by death or by imprisonment for life, and 1 count of burglary under Idaho Code 181401, which is punishable by imprisonment in the state prison for not less than 1 and not more than 10 years. I am the judge assigned to preside over the preliminary hearing that's scheduled to occur on June 26, 2023 through June 30th, 2023. Bethany Funke may, and that's an important...
That's what the whole thing, Love Tina, I know you popped in here a little late, and I'm going to pop it up again because this is the craziest shit I've freaking seen on the whole thing. Did you see this part right here, Tina? Where their reply back to this, trying to get Bethany Funke into the pre-trial, even if she possesses exculpatory evidence, which remains unknown, there is no place or reason to present that evidence at the preliminary hearing. They're saying they don't give a shit. They're saying they don't care if they do have any kind of evidence to let a free man go, to make sure that, I mean, how insane is that? How crazy is that? I can't get over that part. And again, lawyer knows who, I was watching him earlier when he got to this part and he was grossed out by it. That is crazy. Like, and then you get back here, right here to the, again, it's his investigation, his private investigation, Richard Bitanti. During the course of my investigation, that's Bitanti, it became known to me that Bethany Funke has information material to the charges, to Bryan Kohberger, portions of information Miss Funke has is exculpatory to the defendant, and the information is unique to her experiences and cannot be provided by another witness. If she has anything, those are the 2 most standout portions of this whole thing to me. If she has anything within those 2, if she has anything at all, they don't care. How crazy is that? They would want this man to go to trial, actually see a jury before they would let him off in a pretrial, right? Because the pretrial is basically, you have to prove that we can move forward in this. They don't care. That blows my mind.
Important word when we come back to the motion to quash. May be a material witness for the defendant in this case. So that answers one of our big questions. Who called her? Why are they calling her? Does Bryan Kohberger think she is going to be helpful for him? I just noticed something. All right. Paragraph 5. For the reasons stated in the affidavit of Richard Bittanti, I don't know why I'm struggling with that, the presence of Bethany Funke, and we're going to get to that affidavit, the presence of Bethany Funke is required at the Latah County Courthouse, located at 522 South Adams Street, Moscow, Idaho, beginning at 8 a.m. on June 28th, 2023. That is a specific time. Under the laws of the state of Idaho, if Bethany Funke comes into this state in obedience of a summons requiring her presence at this hearing, she will not be subject to arrest or service of any process relating to matters that arose before.
Yeah, it does. Wisdom speaks. That's what's so crazy to me is like, even if they could, which they're saying they can, if we can get her here, you know, we can prove that she can give exculpatory evidence to exonerate Bryan Kohberger, right? That's essentially what they're saying. And they're saying, we'll see in trial, bud.
Before she entered the state under the summons. So already had some questions about paragraph 6. And I apologize. I left it small there. I will blow it back up and make it big as we continue to read. But paragraph 6, I'll let you take a look at it now. What does this mean? Does this mean that there is a warrant out for her arrest, that she committed crimes prior to this subpoena being entered? Sleuthy sent me some messages about this as well on Twitter. Is this boilerplate? Is this common? The answer is yes. This is very common. They put this in when you subpoena somebody from out of state.
I'm going to be honest. I don't support Justin whatsoever. I think they're an absolute fucktard. I will say that to them if you'd like to bring them around. But you won't. They're scared to death of actual confrontation. That's the shit I don't like it to begin with also. Also, everything that they said, we can go back and watch it. I did an actual whole show on that shit.
Them to show up because we do not want to dupe people or have aha, gotcha moments when they show up in our state because we need them to be a witness in a case and then say, oh, there's an open warrant for your arrest for something you did 2 years ago. Now that we've got you here, we're going to arrest you. And we brought you here under these false pretenses or under something else. So we don't want that to happen. We want people to be able to come in when they are material witnesses under certain circumstances from one state to another to testify. And we don't want to create problems by arresting people when they show up. Now, you may think that, well, that's unfair. If they committed a crime in my state and they left and my state can't reach out and bring.
I'll admit, I'll say this, and I said this on the video that I dropped yesterday about this whole thing as well. I actually totally get why she wouldn't want to fucking do this. Are you kidding me? Like, look at how everything has been smeared. Like, first of all, let's say she does have exculpatory evidence that doesn't put her involved. Okay. So then she's just willing to hold on to that and let somebody go down because she doesn't want the media attention or doesn't want the public eye. That's one level of it. Let's say that she actually could potentially, let's just say allegedly could be potentially involved in this, right? And doesn't want anybody to know. But, you know, Bryan Kohberger, and I'm not saying involved directly. I'm almost saying involved as like she has some kind of knowledge of somebody else that could be involved. And to know Bryan Kohberger, was he there at some point? Huh? At some point, did he pass through there? We could go back to drug theories or whatever the hell you want to talk about, potentially for him to be in that house. There was a lot of passerbyers that were going through the house on the reg all the time. So she could have some kind of information that says, hey, yeah, I've seen this guy here. There's reasons why this may be here. And hell, maybe he carried a knife with him. Huh? Maybe he carried that thing. Maybe he had slept with one of those girls in that house. Who knows? We don't fucking know anything. We literally know nothing right now. We're just getting bits and pieces. This is the craziest shit we've seen because it actually implements the person that we ain't been talking about at all. The person that they have been basically hiding here, Bethany Funke, with exculpatory evidence that this could, and then to go back to the state, if you want to go and play a devil's advocate, whatever the hell you want to say, you know, whether you want to play that game and be on a fence, if you want to be a fence sitter or say you want to ride real hard with this team because, no, I believe he did it. I believe Bryan Kohberger is guilty. I don't care what anybody says and I won't look at anything else. that's not any kind of game that I would ever want to play, because if anybody could provide any kind of evidence that changes a mind of anyone, come on, like, why would you not want to see that? Anyone that's hardcore on anything thus far is silly. Okay. I think he did it. I do. I think they got the right guy. Mine is a hope factor that the police didn't fuck up, that they didn't mess this thing up. That's all I've got. I don't actually know. I have no clue. I can dig through these bits and pieces and all these clues all day long. That's all we do. That's what this channel is basically about. But we don't know anything. When it comes down to it and we start really pulling out facts, when this really starts coming out, and whatever maybe Bethany Funke knows, right, that they don't want to talk about yet, that they don't want to wait, that they want to wait till trial for, God forbid it gets to pretrial and maybe gets an innocent man off, because I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. That's the whole point here. Like, anyone that's like, well, I don't know how anybody could think otherwise, or think this or think that, or how could you even, for Steve Goncalves, right? I want it to be the right guy for the families. It needs to be the right guy. The law enforcement needs to have not fucked this up. But the deeper we get into it, I'm not so sure anymore, right? I don't know how anybody could be so sure.
Them
It's
back,
craziness.
they should get arrested if they step foot in the state. Well, that creates other constitutional issues,
Silly.
and privacy rights and issues that each individual has from state to state. Certain states can extradite you and bring you in for certain crimes. Other ones can't. So we don't want to have that be an issue when we need somebody to come and be a material witness in a case that has nothing
Creed 64. Hopefully they didn't screw this up. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
to do with some other warrant they may have.
But I need to see, right? I don't need to, I feel this way. I feel real strongly. We don't know anything. No, nobody does yet. There's not one person that does. No one.
Talked about Fifth Amendment.
Zilch. Zero. Besides the people that are heavily involved in this. Okay, I shouldn't say zero. Out here, none of us. We're all digging through the same stuff, trying to figure this thing out. We can have strong opinions, which I do. But and that's why this is so important. This is why this is crazy. If she does have information, and then you read a part, right? I'm going to go back to it because it's pissing me the hell off. Even if she possesses exculpatory evidence which remains unknown, they don't care until the trial. That's fucking crazy. That's not cool. That's not how this should play out for anybody. Me or you, if you were put in this position either. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts.
How that can come into
We
play
need to
on this
know.
morning's video. So if you want to check that out, feel free. All right, page 2. This certificate is made for the express purpose of being presented to a judge of a court of record in the state of Nevada in support of an order to compel the attendance of Bethany Funke at the time and place, and for the reasons stated above. This is a judge certifying she must show up. And if you're wondering, why go through all this? Why do we have to have this affidavit? Why does the judge have to say these certain things and these certain buzzwords? Well, because there are rules. And if you miss any rules, there will be a motion to quash filed. We're not there yet.
100% Mountain Mama. That is what would be horrible and scary as hell. She says the big problem is if he didn't do it, there are still killer or killers walking free. How scary is that to think about? That's what's horrifying. Or if there's other people potentially involved, right? If they do have half or part of a crew, which is in Bryan Kohberger.
Because first, we are going to get Bitnati. Okay. All right. So ex parte motion for certificate to secure the attendance of an out-of-state witness comes now. Bryan C. Kohberger, buying through his attorney and Taylor, public defender, and hereby moves this court for a certificate to assist in securing the attendance of Bethany Funke as a witness on behalf of the defendant in this case. This motion is based on Idaho Code 193004, 193005,
Thank you, Willow, for that
19852,
super
and the
sticker.
attached affidavit in support of the motion for out-of-state service.
Appreciate that.
So they have to ask the court for help in going and getting this out-of-state witness to secure her and make sure her presence.
That's what I'm scared about, Alien Dog. We know law enforcement doesn't care what they got equals injustice. That's what I'm scared about. Because we've talked about that time and time again on this channel as well. you know, the fact that the pressure and the media pressure was so intense on this entire thing, the sensationalism, the viralism of this case, the heat was on, right? They needed somebody. And what if they just went and got somebody that made the most sense because of, you know, I'm not going to say lack of, you know, legwork or even evidence. Hopefully that's what they have, and that we haven't seen the deepest portions of yet, even though we've seen the, you know, the PCA, but still, I mean, there still needs to be more, I think, ultimately. And hopefully we just haven't seen that, but no, that's what I'm afraid of, that law enforcement has just grabbed this guy and running with it. That's what would be horrible to this entire case. Horrible.
That she is at the preliminary hearing. That's what they are trying to do. All right. So let's take a look at Bethany Richard. Let's look at Richard's affidavit here. I am a criminal investigator hired by the defense to assist.
Real quick, I did want to, and I don't want to give her last name if she doesn't want to give it, but Brooke, who often comes through here as well, is who actually sent me in an email the Moscow media story there. I wanted to shout her out as well. Thank you, Brooke.
The representation of Bryan Kohberger, making sure it's still on the screen. I was asked by appointed counsel Ann C. Taylor to investigate the alleged incident, which led to the arrest of Bryan Kohberger. Bryan is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of burglary. The deaths took place in a 3-story home. There are 2 bedrooms on each floor, bathrooms on each floor, and a kitchen, dining, and living room on the middle floor. Mr. Kohberger is alleged to have entered the house around 4 a.m. while 6 people were sleeping/present, killing 4 people in 2 separate rooms. The people killed were located in 2 bedrooms, one on the 2nd floor and the other on the 3rd floor. Bethany Funke's bedroom was on the 1st floor. The other surviving roommate's bedroom was on the 2nd floor. Bethany Funke was interviewed by police on several occasions. So we're going to pause here on paragraph 9. Bethany Funke, people are saying make it bigger. This is as big as I can do it because I'm looking at it through Twitter. This is the best version. Trust me, I have other versions that are harder to read. So I'm reading it out loud to you. So hopefully that'll help too. So paragraph 9, where we are going to focus for a minute. Bethany Funke was interviewed by police on several occasions. She disclosed things she heard and things she saw. So what does that mean and why is it important? Number 1, she spoke to police multiple times, gave them multiple statements.
Ooh, Creepy Crystal, thank you for coming in here. Yeah, you're a little bit late, about 45 minutes late. A little bit of catch up, maybe. Thank you for popping in here. I know Mondays are random for me anyways. Everything's just so hot. I had to come on here tonight. But yeah, it was a weird one. I didn't even hype it up either.
Seems. Yet her statements were barely mentioned, if at all. I really can't remember much that they gave about BF or Bethany Funke in the probable cause affidavit. That's number 1. Number 2, there are statements she made, so they are not guessing at what she would or could have stated or testified. There are actually statements. So they have a good faith basis to say she is a material witness that can testify about this. Okay? Now, paragraph 10. Bethany Funke was present at the home 8 hours later when police were called, arrived on scene, and discovered the homicide. So they mentioned the police weren't called until 8 hours later. Will her testimony have something to do with that? What happened in those 8 hours?
Here comes the craziest part.
Paragraph 11. We're going to focus here for a second. During the course of my investigation, the private investigator hired by Ann Taylor for Bryan Kohberger, it became known to me that Bethany Funke has information material to the charges against Mr. Kohberger. Portions of information Miss Funke has is exculpatory to the defendant. That means could prove his innocence.
That is crazy, right? Like, it's in black and white, man. Again, it's the defense, and they have hired this guy, their own investigator. But what has he found? What has he found out? See, the private investigator isn't tied down by the media, by the mainstream media always hounding them, or the public, or the anybody that, like what was happening with the law enforcement there when this was absolutely at a height, a fever pitch, when everyone was just like, we need this guy caught, right? This guy maybe did a little bit more digging. I'm not saying because they had the FBI in this thing. Not that I'm saying trust the FBI. I'm also not anti-law enforcement, but we all know what the hell's going on in a lot of this, in a lot of higher up bullshit places. So, and also the digger we've dug in, I'll admit, we've seen how corrupt Moscow, Idaho is. I mean, in more ways than one, with more parties than just one with the law enforcement. So during the course of the investigation, it became known to me that Bethany Funke has information material to the charges against Mr. Kohberger. Portions of information Ms. Funke has is exculpatory to the defendant. Okay, information unique is to her experiences and cannot be provided by other witnesses. That sounds insane. That rings loud and clear to me that something else is going on here. But we need to see it. We have to see what's going on. I'm not going to flip and change my mind until I see proof. We need proof.
Could prove he did not do it. We have seen that Brady or Giglio evidence has been turned over to Ann Taylor. Was it Bethany Funke's statement? Was it her testimony? We don't know. Additionally, the last sentence in paragraph 11 is incredibly important for what we're talking about. Miss Funke's information is unique to her experiences and cannot be provided by other witnesses or by another witness. So again, relating back to the discussions we had this morning, and you all
yeah, we need more information, creepy Crystal. Was she even sleeping there? We still aren't 100% on this.
Had some really, really great questions. Can't they just get it done with other witnesses? Why do they need her? Well, according to the defense, she is the only one that can state the testimony that they need or that exists.
On the flip side of right here, Love Tina, could it be why Bethany don't want to talk? Because she would have to get her friends involved and she don't want to tell. Like, I could almost see that, but also on the flip side of that, just how, huge this case is. Because she knows, look, we're talking about it right now, right? It's probably being, I'm sure it's being talked about on the mainstream media outlets as well. She knows this is going to be huge. And the possibility that she would actually be the defense's witness, the murderer, right? The public, what everyone's saying, the alleged murderer, Bryan Kohberger, she would be his witness. She don't want that in the public. She don't have to publicly say anything nice about this guy. Now, as messed up as that sounds, if you actually do have information, think about how people are today. I'm not saying anything negative towards Bethany Funke. I'm talking about young people in general. All right. This would be with them for the rest of their lives. I think that it's messed up because if you have any kind of information, if you have anything that could get this poor man off, that you do have information on and knowing that he's innocent, that is horrible. But at the same time, we've talked about this on other streams. I could see it. I could see that actually happening, as messed up as that is.
Exists in this situation. So while it may be a hardship, and we're not trying to harass or make anything more difficult on these victims because they're not alleged victims, right? They are victims. Bryan Kohberger allegedly did these things because it hasn't been proven. But the things happened, right? We know what happened. And the victims are victims regardless of if Bryan Kohberger did it or somebody else. So we always want to respect that and protect them. But if they have something that could be exculpatory, I will just tell you, we're going to read this motion to quash. There are going to be parts I agree with and parts I vehemently disagree with. Let me see here. The motion to quash. This was filed by Kelly Ann Valoria. We looked her up earlier, former prosecutor for 14 years, now family law lawyer in Nevada. All right. So actually, before we get to the motion to quash, I see some questions are coming through. So let me go through some comments and questions
Right,
here.
Tino. I
Lisa
know.
Alana and Wendy Phillips. This motion is made and based upon the attached points and authorities, all papers and pleadings on file herein, and any evidence and argument to be heard on the matter. This was just filed on Friday. All right, so let's get to the memo and points and authorities. Sorry, I didn't realize the comment was still up there. Facts. That's facts. On April 3rd, 2023, Evelyn Grosnick, interim Washoe, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, county public defender, sought and obtained an ex parte foreign subpoena, which was issued on April 11th, 2023, that purports to require Bethany Grace Funke to appear in the 2nd Judicial District Court of the state of Idaho, County of Latah, on June 28, 2023 at 8 a.m. for the duration of the trial, or
me
when
too, right here, 1-2. I want to know what the group of kids who arrived at the house have to say. And I've seen other people say this too, and I guess it probably, I'm guessing these people are under the gag order potentially, but before the gag order was actually put in place, isn't it crazy that we didn't see a lot more stuff just in the time and age that we're in, right? Like, the cell phone age is really what I'm getting at here with pictures and videos. I really can't believe that. And I'm not talking about inside the house or even of the victims. I'm honestly surprised that isn't out there too. But even just the outside of the house, because you hear about it, they say that there was just a large group all together, locking arms almost, right? And then of course, once law enforcement started rolling up, the scene must have been insane. I mean,
released by the court to testify in the above named case. The items provided in support of the subpoena were an ex parte request for foreign subpoena, out-of-state commission, which contained the following: certificate of an Idaho judge to secure the attendance of an out-of-state witness, which we read together, the ex parte motion for the certificate to secure the attendance of an out-of-state witness, which we read together, and an affidavit in support of the motion for an out-of-state service, which we read together. That was the private investigator. The affidavit in support of the motion for out-of-state service further claims that Miss Funke, if you're going to call other people out for typos, right, probably shouldn't make typos of your own. That's why I don't usually like to call people out for typos unless they are material, because she says who name is repeatedly misspelled. We did see at least one spot where it was misspelled. Has information material to the charges against Mr. Kohberger. Portions of information Ms. Funke has is exculpatory to the defendant. These statements are conclusory, without support, and there is no further information or detail pertaining to the substance of the testimony, its materiality, or the alleged exculpatory information of Ms. Funke, or why it would be entertained at a preliminary hearing. Moreover, the subpoena was issued by the clerk of the court without hearing. No hearing has been set for Ms. Funke to address these concerns. This motion follows. So again, there are going to be portions of this I absolutely agree with. There are going to be portions of this I don't agree with. All right. The court should quash the foreign subpoena issued purporting to compel Ms. Funke's attendance at the Idaho preliminary hearing in this case. She states some rules govern the issues of a subpoena in criminal court. Some more rules govern the procedure for securing the attendance of the witness for testimony outside the state. Excuse me. This rule in particular addresses the process for summoning of a Nevada witness to testify in another state. Specifically, this rule requires the court to fix a time and place for a hearing before it can issue any order directing testimony in another state. This hearing is necessary to provide a venue where the judge determines that the witness is material and necessary, that it will not cause undue hardship to the witness to be compelled and to attend and testify in the prosecution or a grand jury investigation in the other state, and that the laws of the state in which the prosecution is pending or a grand jury investigation has commenced or is about to commence, and of any other state through which the witness may be required to pass by ordinary course of travel. So, what is she saying here? She is saying that a hearing has to happen, regardless of if everything else makes sense, regardless if this is true. A hearing has to happen, and the hearing didn't happen. If she's right, then they're going to have to do the hearing, and they'll have to pause this and stay it until they do the hearing. But many times, affidavits, especially signed off under oath by a judge, can make another jurisdiction waive hearing. So we'll see if that becomes a reason why they stay this. It's not going to be a reason they quash it and it just goes away. It would just be delaying the inevitable. Once that procedure is followed, and that...
Hey guys, I have to go get a lighter and see a man about a dog. If you know what I'm saying, the regulars here do. I'm going to let this video continue to play. Hey, if you're just popping in here, I see a lot of people hanging out. 120 people in here, 70 likes. Hit that like. Help me out. Get me in the algorithm. I'm going to let this video continue to play, and I will be right back, folks. Keep her banging.
Burden is met, then and only then shall the judge issue a summons with a copy of the certificate attached, directing the witness to attend and testify in the court where the prosecution is pending or where a grand jury investigation has commenced or is about to commence at a time and place specified in the summons. In any such hearing, the certificate shall be prima facie evidence of all the facts stated therein.
Be right back.
Moreover, there is
Save
no
me
authority
from
for an
myself.
Idaho
I'll be right
criminal
back.
defendant to summon a Nevada witness to Idaho for a preliminary hearing. This is where we get into some interesting discussion about definitions and whether a deposition and a trial and a grand jury proceeding are different than a preliminary hearing. There is no authority for an Idaho criminal defendant to summon a Nevada witness to an Idaho matter without a hearing. Okay, so we may have to have a hearing. And there is no authority to summon a Nevada witness to an Idaho matter without a Nevada judge making a finding of materiality, necessity, and lack of undue hardship. So is what she going to say important, meaning material? Is it absolutely necessary, or can they get it somewhere else? And is it going to be nearly impossible or incredibly hard for her to show up and do this? The Nevada rule does contemplate a Nevada criminal defendant's ability to subpoena a witness to appear before a court in Nevada. However, there is also a requirement for a hearing. Thus, even if the law applied by analysis, no hearing occurred and that important procedural requirement was not met. Additionally, the rule provides that if a judge of a court of record in any state, which by its laws has made provision to commanding persons within that state to attend and testify in this state, certifies under the seal of such court that there is a criminal prosecution pending in such court, or that a grand jury investigation has commenced or is about to commence, that a person being within this state is a material witness in such prosecution or grand jury investigation, and that the person's presence will be required for a specified number of days, upon which presentation of such certificate to any judge of a court of record in the county in which such a person is, such judge shall fix a time and place for a hearing and shall make an order directing the witness to appear at a time and a place certain for the hearing. Okay, a lot of words basically saying you have to specify when they have to show up and how long they have to be there again, so that it's not an undue hardship. Importantly here, there is no...
That was a must. Thank you for waiting. Babs Violison, welcome. Thank you for being in here. Appreciate it. Sorry to pop out as soon as Save Me From Myself popped in here, but glad you could pop in here on a Monday night. Super unusual time frame for me.
No certification by any judge of any court of record in any state, Nevada or Idaho, that clearly, that's a big word, clearly states that Bethany Grace Funke is a material witness in such a prosecution or grand jury investigation. So what do they mean? Well, if we hop back to the judge's statement here that paragraph 4, Bethany Funke may...
Rachel just got in the Discord. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, the Discord's fun, guys. Jump in there.
Be a material witness for the defense. May be a material witness. What page was I on here? Here, at the bottom of page 3.
Appreciate that.
No judge clearly states that she is a material witness. So maybe a material witness, she's saying the rule says they have to say she is a material witness. Maybe that's something they'll argue about. Additionally, this is for a preliminary hearing. The rule says a prosecution or grand jury investigation. This is something that I think they are going to have a hearing on, and they're going to have to determine, is she a material witness?
Yeah, let's bring this over and read it real quick. Yeah, this was sent to me in real time. Crime don't pay. Thank you so much for bringing this to my attention here. Defense attorney preparing for trial of quadruple murder suspect Bryan Kohberger. They spelled his name wrong. So that should be. She asked earlier if Daily Mail was a good source. I use Daily Mail a lot, but also Daily Mail is kind of bullshitty also. Subpoenas one of two surviving housemates, of course, Bethany Funke. A defense investigator working on the Bryan Kohberger murder trial has filed a court document claiming that a surviving housemate who was at the home when her 4 roommates were killed as exculpatory evidence that is necessary to his defense. Kohberger, a former criminology PhD student, is accused of course, fatally stabbing the Idaho 4. The survivor named in the Nevada court filing, Bethany Funke, 21, allegedly heard or saw things that could exonerate. What was the first thing Bryan Kohberger said? He can't wait to be exonerated, right? Investigator Richard Batanti, who is working for Ann Taylor, he's doing his own investigation, has now subpoenaed Funke to appear on June 28th. I thought it was the 26th. And if she refuses to appear, could face a potential fine of $500 or 25 days in jail. Kohberger's defense team aims to challenge the probable cause used to justify his arrest at his scheduled preliminary hearing in June and claim Funke has, again, exculpatory information that is material and necessary to the alleged killer's defense. During the course of my investigation, it became known to me, this is Batanti talking, she has information material to the charges against Mr. Kohberger. It was Funke who found the bloodied bodies. Whoa, it does say it. Holy shit. Haven't heard that before. Anybody else seen that before? So again, take that with a grain of salt. This is the Daily Mail. First time I've seen that, and it's in the Daily Mail. It was Funke who found the bloodied bodies of her 3 housemates, and she has argued she should not have to appear because she now lives in Nevada, not Idaho. Through her lawyers, she slapped down the foreign subpoena and said a judge must have a hearing before Funke can be required to testify. The Idaho 4 were killed in November. One of the 2 survivors allegedly heard a commotion and witnessed a masked man. Of course, talking about DM, the second survivor is, in this case, Funke, is alleged to have heard or saw things that could clear the suspect. According to Batanti's affidavit, Batanti argues that the information Funke possesses is unique to her experience and cannot be provided by another witness. Kohberger's defense is now asking the court to compel her to provide testimony at his scheduled preliminary hearing in June, as they hope to challenge the probable cause used to justify his arrest. Funke has issued a subpoena by Kohberger's defense team to serve as a material witness in the case, with them writing that it is necessary to subpoena her to be a witness. But her attorney slammed the move, writing, "There is no authority for an Idaho criminal defendant to summon a Nevada witness to an Idaho matter without a hearing, and there is no authority to summon a Nevada witness to an Idaho matter without a Nevada judge making a finding of materiality, necessity, and the lack of undue hardship," she added. Court documents obtained by the Daily Mail revealed that on April 3rd, Grossnick, interim Washoe County public defender, sought and obtained an ex parte foreign subpoena that was issued to Funke on April 11th. It was Funke who it said Funke was required to appear in the Second District Court of the state of Idaho on June 28th at 8 a.m. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it starts on the 26th. So and it's going to be going for a week. For the duration of the trial to testify, a court filing opposing the subpoena argues that it was improperly filed and there's no authority for an Idaho criminal defendant to summon a Nevada witness to Idaho for a preliminary hearing. The law firm representing the surviving roommate has declined to comment, citing a gag order in the case. Funke, which we read earlier, it's not going anywhere. The gag order is going to remain. Funke lived on the first floor on the split-level home with the survivor Dylan Mortensen, the second survivor and person who came face-to-face with the killer during the attack. Her housemates and the murder victims lived on the second and third floors of the home that could only be accessed through the sliding door. Though police have not revealed where Funke and Mortensen were hours before the roommates were killed, they confirmed both women got home just after 1 a.m. The roommates who were killed arrived back at 2 a.m. Funke was also a member of the Pi Beta Phi sorority with Kernodle and Morgan. Probably butchered that. I've been called out for that in the past. I apologize if I did. Kohberger, 28, was charged with the first-degree murder and the burglary in late December. He has not yet entered a plea in the homicides. Yeah, next court date, June 26th. If they want her there 2 days later after it starts, the accused murderer and criminal justice major is currently being held in the maximum security cell, Latah County Jail. Yeah, that's a cool story. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that, Crime Don't Play. I had not seen that at all. Wow. Something new right here. Thank you very much. And again, take that how you want from the Daily Mail. I get it.
And is a preliminary hearing, does that fit into the same box as a prosecution or grand jury investigation? And this almost makes me laugh. I know we're talking serious matters here, but this is why lawyers at 5 o'clock today, I have a rules committee meeting with the Florida Bar Civil Rules section. We have had no less than 20 meetings on a less than 5-paragraph rule. That we are going over every rule and how it can be argued and how it should be defined. This is what happens. So, is a preliminary hearing the same thing? All right, a close reading of the certification purported to be from a judge, it sounds like it's from a judge, merely states that Ms. Funke may be a material witness. This is insufficient under the law for this foreign subpoena to stand. And that is why we need to have a hearing. And that's what I agree with.
I love that unravel right there. Lots of discussion goes down in the Publicly Buzzed Discord, guys. It's 100% free if you click on the link that I just dropped in there. I do understand that it can be kind of confusing for some people that's new. It was confusing for me when I first got on there. My brother, Dan, who, is a big part of this channel, actually got me in Discord. It's been maybe about a year now. And once you do get used to, though, it's awesome. There's, multiple within just the Publicly Buzzed Discord. There's multiple channels that you can talk on, that you can actually type to multiple people. I have one for Idaho specifically. I have general crime, of course. And like I said, I'll have a movie night. Like we watched The Thing in there one night. So, and then I'll have a chat on the side where we can just discuss and hang out while we do that. And hell, you never know. Once the pre-trial actually starts coming up, if I'm not doing anything live, it'll probably be happening in Discord. So yeah, absolutely 100% free. And I would love to see you in there.
Here in this motion to quash, I think we need to have a hearing to answer some of these questions. Lastly, as this court is well aware, a preliminary hearing is limited to a finding of probable cause. And this paragraph, maybe the next two paragraphs, I can't remember, are where I vehemently, strongly, ardently disagree. Okay? I love when, I judge, I respectfully disagree. I forcefully object to this, judge. I like when lawyers do that. I've done it myself. As this court is well aware, a preliminary hearing is limited to a finding of probable cause rather than reasonable doubt. That is correct. Which is the evidentiary burden at trial. I agree with line number 1 and 2. That is correct. This is the same standard in both Idaho and Nevada. This case specifically holds that a preliminary hearing is not a substitute for trial, and the purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether a public offense has been committed and whether there is sufficient cause to believe that the accused committed it. So sufficient cause, not beyond a reasonable doubt. A preliminary hearing is not meant to become a mini trial due to its limited purpose in deciding a probable cause. Okay, I misspoke. This is not the paragraph I disagree with. I agree, absolutely agree with this paragraph. Here's the paragraph I disagree with. Arguably, then, even if Miss Funke possesses exculpatory evidence, which remains unknown, there is no place or reason to present that evidence at a preliminary hearing. Let's pause here for a minute. Let's pause here. I'm going to read it again, and then we're going to talk about it. Arguably, then, even if Miss Funke possesses exculpatory evidence, so we're saying, assume she possesses exculpatory evidence. Even then, there's no place for that to be presented at a preliminary hearing. Here's where I disagree with that. Okay?
This is crazy. This is what I've been literally ranting about all night, and I'll do it one more time before he does it, because I've seen him do it first. I can't even take credit for it. Even if Bethany Funke possesses exculpatory evidence which remains unknown, again, there is no place or reason to present that evidence at the prelim, they're saying. They're saying even if you can prove the innocence of Bryan Kohberger, whatever. We'll tell you, we're going to trial. Bring it then. They'd make him go to the jury. That's messed up, man. He's about to talk about it.
And for this analysis, it does not matter if Bethany Funke possesses exculpatory evidence. Let's just move that out of our mind, and let's live in a world right now where Bethany Funke possesses some piece of evidence that says it is not Bryan Kohberger, which it doesn't have to go to that level to be exculpatory, right? But if she does possess that evidence, and if they present that evidence at a preliminary hearing, and I'm a judge, or you're a judge, or this magistrate's the judge, and somebody presents evidence that proves Bryan Kohberger didn't do it, that by definition would prevent the state from proving that there is sufficient cause or probable cause that Bryan Kohberger, in fact, committed this public offense. That is the exact kind of evidence that should be presented at a preliminary hearing. Come on. Come on. Can't do that. We can't do that to people that say, even if they have good evidence, judge, come on, we're not going to present a preliminary hearing. We know the defendants always lose preliminary hearings. It's like, no. And I will tell you, this is strange to me. It is weird to me that there is a victim who was at the house when the crime was committed in the 8 hours between the time it happened and the call to 911. And she was not.
I agree with that, Angel. This is a tad intimidating for Bethany. Looks like they have a good lawyer, thankfully. I will agree with that. And I can also understand and see why she wouldn't want to come and do this because of everything that's going on. The high profile of this case, the publicity that's going to be hitting, the sensationalism and the viralism of this case. I get it. But to that argument, if she does possess any kind of actual knowledge or evidence and she's letting somebody sit in a jail cell that it could be that she knows is innocent, if that's what they're getting at here and she can't prove it and we end up finding that is messed up. That's where I'm at on it, Angel. But I'd also agree with you. I agree with you.
I'll just say not highlighted in the probable cause affidavit and not going to be called as a witness by the state at the preliminary hearing, and that the defense would go as far as to try to subpoena.
Angel, if you go back, he was reading in this, but on the defense's side, which also makes sense because they're going to try to get this guy off, right? They have an investigation going on as well. And from what they have found, they are saying that she has information and knowledge that only right here during the course of my investigation. And this investigation is by Richard Bittitoni. It says Bethany Funke was interviewed by police on several occasions. She disclosed things she heard and things she saw. Bethany Funke was present at the home 8 hours later when police were called, arrived on scene, and discovered the homicides. Now, right here, the craziest one, number 11. During the course of my investigation, the investigator that they have, Ann Taylor's team, it became known to me that Bethany Funke has information material to the charges against Mr. Kohberger. Portions of information Miss Funke has is exculpatory to the defendant. Miss Funke's information is unique to her experiences and cannot be provided by another witness. So whatever he thinks he's found seems important enough to make this affidavit and make it and go forth with it. Now, again, you know, in Nevada and her team, to your point, they have good lawyers, right? They noticed that they're saying that this is that she just shouldn't have to go and we should go on to the trial. That's where I totally disagree as well. I think it's messed up right here. Arguably, even if Miss Funk possesses exculpatory evidence, which is saying they don't care, even if she has it, there is no place or reason to present that evidence in a preliminary hearing. They would rather it go to trial to a jury, even if they have that evidence. That's messed up, I think, man. That's crazy. I cannot get over that. I went over that 1,000 times on the stream. I can't get over that.
Testimony at a preliminary hearing, knowing that regardless of what her evidence is, it's not like she's going to be friendly to the defense. She is not going to be a friendly witness who wants to show up and help Bryan Kohberger out. It's strange. So I just need
to know. I mean, that's the whole thing. That's why this whole thing sucks. And the gag order is going to keep on going. And we're just going to keep getting little pieces of this information. I mean, it sucks. But like, at the end of the day, when you see something like this come down the pike, and it's probably the best thing we've seen in a while, because it's given us a big what the WTF moment, right? Like, what is going on? What could be that? What's the evidence that they think that they have that is so strong that they feel like that they've put this affidavit forth in Nevada, trying to subpoena her to get her to Idaho for the preliminary? That's got to be something, right?
That assuming she has exculpatory evidence, that there's no place for that in a preliminary hearing. A preliminary hearing requires the state to offer competent evidence to support probable cause and convince the magistrate that a trial should be held, not the issue of innocence or guilt of the defendant. I totally disagree. Because if the defendant can prove innocence at the preliminary hearing, then the state cannot present enough evidence to support probable cause. It literally stops the state from being able to do what they need to do at that preliminary hearing. You would think if there was evidence to prove innocence, the state would drop the charges. So I'm not saying that evidence exists. But if it did exist and the state still refused to drop charges, that's why we have this layer of protection. This should not just
Pirate Radio. I try to, as long as everyone, literally my only rule is don't attack anybody personally. That's it. Just literally the only rule is actually don't be a piece of shit. That's literally the only publicly buzzed rule. Don't be a piece of shit. Don't troll, don't spam, don't attack anyone personally. Because we all have our own ideas on this, and I like to hear them personally, because I've had my mind changed live on this show many times. I'm not married to any idea. And that's why I want to see evidence. That's why I want to see. At the end of the day, I've went over this time and time again. I still think I hope they have the right guy. I hope they have not messed this up. I'm not off that train, but this is crazy. This is pretty interesting.
Through the motions. This should not just be a rubber stamp. This should be another part of the process where we make sure they have enough, because guess what? So, I mean, this just boggles my mind, because if they have evidence to prove Bryan Kohberger is innocent, and we don't present it at the preliminary hearing, Bryan Kohberger.
This is what I'm wondering. Keister Bunny. Keister Bunny and me have the same wavelength on a lot of these shows. I wonder if she has knowledge of previous interaction between one of the six and BK. I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead, and I wouldn't, but what if there was interactions and him coming through that house before with any of those girls? And we've talked about it. They've subpoenaed the social media networks, the dating apps. Has Bethany seen him in that house before? Is there a reason that his DNA could be in that house? And I don't know, man. Like, I've thought about that as well.
Sits in prison while everybody continues to think that he did it. Everybody says he did it. Everybody expects that he's going to be convicted. And then later at trial, we have this evidence that proves he's innocent. Okay, not guilty. See you, Bryan Kohberger. Sorry for the misunderstanding. It's like, no.
Wisdom speaks. Imagine what the parents of the victims is thinking about this. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. It sucks. Like, that's why ultimately at the end of the day, I hope to God they have the right guy. Even still, I want to see what's happening here, but I still hope that we don't have to restart this from scratch. You kidding me? That there's still somebody out there, or even more people if there is more involved? Come on.
Oh, this is exactly the time it should be presented to the state and tell them, hey, drop the charges. But just because the defense attorney says, hey, we have this, we think it's exculpatory, doesn't mean the state's going to agree. But this is another opportunity to present it to an unbiased person, meaning a judge. They don't have to agree. They can say, nope, there's enough for probable cause. But if you have it, you absolutely should be able to present it. Exculpatory evidence is an issue for trial, which the documents presented misleadingly suggest the preliminary hearing to be. Some strong words here, about spelling her name wrong and misleading the court and having no place for this kind of evidence that I just disagree with. For all of the reasons the subpoena served upon Ms. Funke is improper. Accordingly, the court should quash the subpoena issued purporting to compel Ms. Funke's attendance at the preliminary hearing in this case. So what I would say is that last paragraph seems a little disingenuous. And, I don't like to go at lawyers, as you guys know. So I'm not. She is probably a very good lawyer, and she's fighting hard for her client, as she should, zealously representing her client. But what I would say is, at the very least, what the court's going to do is order a hearing. It's very unlikely that they just quash the subpoena outright. Or if they do, it will be refiled to correct the misspellings and ask for a hearing.
Hey, to this point right here, Sandra Williams, if they didn't have enough evidence against him, BK, he would not be in jail without ratting someone else out. That's to say if there's someone else involved. He would still be rotting in jail if, they've just thrown this on someone in the heat of the moment, right? But they've touched a lot of bases. That's my whole thing too. Like, I need to see what this is at the end of the day before I'm going to just completely swap and say he's an innocent or even not guilty. Again, before I say any of this, I'm going to have to see more information. But my thing comes back to hope. It comes back to hoping that they didn't mess up because of the families, because of, who did we see on the news? Steve Goncalves for months, right? And now all these people can't talk because of the gag order, but we've seen these families in real time. The sister of Kaylee, Ethan's mom and dad came out and did some stories. Even, Xana's mom, like you can see these people in real life. Like it sucks. Like that's why I don't want any of this to be real, quite frankly. Now to the opposite, if it is, you have to look at that. If there's an innocent man sitting there, that's messed up. We got to let that dude out. We have to figure this thing out. We can't just go, well, we got the guy. And there's so many people I feel like that are like that. That's what sucks. Like we need to figure it out and know for sure.
In conclusion, the foreign subpoena was improperly issued because there was no hearing. There was no component of the statutes followed in issuing it, and the court should quash the subpoena issued to Ms. Funke now. So that is the motion to quash. Interesting to me. All right, let's get to some of your questions.
Hey, Mandy.
Kathy Trout, Nevada. Put emphasis. Oh, my goodness. So now people are telling me I'm pronouncing Nevada wrong.
Yeah. And again, go check. Like, I learned so much from the lawyer. This guy rules. Like his channel's a fountain of information if you're into true crime and just law in general. And I really thought he killed it when he broke that down. Catch up with chat here just for a second. Again, thank you all for being here. 150 people in here hanging out. Hell yeah, guys. Welcome to Publicly Buzzed. If you're new here, please sub up if you're digging what you see. We go over a lot of different crime stuff. If you go through my videos, you'll see I do like mini docs on classic crime stuff. even some kind of haunted type stuff, some more, eerie type, more unsolved mysteries vibe, if you ever watched that classic show. But of course, what brought me to the dance is the Idaho 4, the Bryan Kohberger stuff. I cover that really regularly. So yeah, thank you all for being here. And also, yeah, like the video. We're 3 likes away from 100. If we can hit 100, that'd be dope as hell. Probably help us hit another level of the old deep evil YouTube algorithm. And share this out. I know YouTube really enjoys that as well. But yeah, been a good night. Again, I don't usually go live on Monday nights. This is a random one. I had to go live tonight, right? Everyone's talking about this. Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And then Friday nights. Now, Friday nights, guys, anybody in chat, if you're new here, they'll tell you, me and my brother Dan, we get pretty wild on here. We'll have a few extra drinks. You never know. I tell everybody, if you drink or have an extra vice, or if not, that's okay too. We have tons of people that do not partake, and they have just as good a time because I usually cover a story, whatever's hot, whatever's happening, what anybody's wanting to talk about. Even we're way more looser on Friday. But then the second half of the show, you never know. We take call. We do a lot of call-ins on Friday nights. Friday nights is the time to be probably live and in person for Publicly Buzzed. And again, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. Last week we had a call all the way from Australia. A call from the future came in. It was midday on Saturday. They're 14 hours ahead of us here in the U.S. I know I have a lot of people from all over the world in here, all over the country. But yeah, all over the world in here. And it was great. Christian D'Amico, who was going to be a regular on this show, I'm sure, coming through with some of his haunting type stories. So you never know what you're going to get on this show. It's a bit different here at Publicly Buzzed. But again, everything that's going on currently with this Bethany Funke situation is crazy. It's the wildest thing we've seen in a minute. So let's see through the chat here, see what everybody's saying. Again, thank you all for being here, man. This is cool as hell. I love that you can go live and have a conversation about something that interests you like this. And there's a bunch of different, thought processes and thought patterns. Publicly Buzzed is, if it's one thing, it's not an echo chamber. It is not an echo chamber here, guys. I want everyone to bring your ideas and bring your thought processes. I'll debate them, or I'll agree with them, or everybody else will do the same, And again, the only rule really here at Publicly Buzzed is don't be a piece of shit. Don't suck. Don't attack anybody. There's no reason for that. We're all adults. I would hope. There's a lot of adult content. Let's see if I can get back with the chat here. While I am getting back with the chat. Change this. Turn the tunes up just a little bit. How about that? Let's see what everybody's saying. 100% unravel. We all want the real person or people involved. It's right here. Mandy, treat the case as if it's your own family. $34 JJJ popping in here. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. BK has been waiting. He's facing capital punishment, and he's a criminal major. He knows stop, comply, and wait with the law. He's walking, and yes, the killers are walking amongst 2 campuses. That is a scary ass thought. Samantha, good point right here. Do we think police just pulled BK's name out of a box and decided to arrest him for fun? Clearly, they had a reason to put him in jail. I'm also on that. I'm in that boat with you, Samantha. I do ultimately think that they have the right guy. I know there's a lot of different questions with a lot of the stuff, whether you can go down the touch DNA avenue if you want to, but I know there's a lot of arguments that why that doesn't hold as much water as a lot of people think, but I think at the end of the day, again, hope that they have the right guy, Samantha. But I have to see this other stuff. We have to know. And again, that's what a pretrial's for here. But I think Bethany should have to come. That's the whole argument here to begin with. She's trying to get out of that part, so. Angel D. Allegedly, one of the first cops on scene lied in court or something. That's where that Brady Giglio thing came. Gunderson. Does that mean that they can't testify or they have that any evidence / statements they took at the crime scene are void. Yeah, I think that I was doing a show on that when that came out, and yeah, basically that smears or taints their future statements. Like, that's why that sucks so bad. First guy on the scene can't even trust what he saw or seen. Norma Farland, I find it strange that Bethany's name was never spoken until the affidavit stated both girls gave their statements. Bon, yes, he is awesome. I actually started watching The Lawyers before True Crime. He is so good to watch. Yeah, he's a good one. Lawyer No Rules. Super personable, easy to listen to. J-Lord, thanks for popping in here. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a good Monday, beginning of the week here. Both should plead the fifth and refuse any affiliation with the case after the vicious ridicule and defamation. Feed them nothing, they will eat you anyway. William Mitchell popping in here. Thank you. Appreciate it. I agree with PubliclyBuzzed. How do we know that Bryan and Bethany were out together, and when Bethany got home, she found her roommates? This evidence would acquit him instantly. Bubbly Waters, I like when he dresses up like a pirate. Not sure. I missed that part. There we go. Elizabeth, BK is involved, obviously, but perhaps others. Now, I've always been in that boat as well. You can go back to my old streams and see that I definitely have always thought that there's been other people involved. Mountain Mama, the sad thing is the Goncalves family defended the girls that lived there. Just sad that it might come out they were involved or at least helped cover it up. That'd be absolutely insane, Mountain Mama. That'd be absolute hot garbage is what that would be. Christy, thank you for popping in here. Maybe Bethany knew Bryan bought drugs from Dylan. Maybe Dylan didn't want to admit to this and be in trouble, and this would have put him at the house before. Doesn't mean he's innocent. And everyone wants to go down different avenues with it. Oh, it can't be this, or it could be that, or it can't be that. Why not a multiple of these things? Because I've always went down the drug avenue and that theory as well. Bryan could have absolutely been in that house and bought drugs before, I think. I 100% think that drugs could have been sold there. I'm not saying that they were running, a pharmacy out of that place, but that 100% could be an actual probability, I think. Hiroshima, if it is true that there is evidence that BK is innocent, and if police change the first statements to fit BK, they should go to jail. I agree with that statement, right? If there's been some nefarious bullshit going on the law enforcement side, absolutely. But there won't be nothing like that comes down the pike. There won't be shit. That was a good statement, Hiroshima. I hope you're subbed up. Sandra, they would be looking at someone else if there was someone else, Steve. Who's saying they aren't though, Sandra? Who's saying they aren't? We don't know everything. We don't know anything. I had a huge rant earlier about how we literally don't know anything. We know nothing. We have little bits and pieces and crumbs. We don't know if the law enforcement are still diving in. I bet you they are. There's still tips coming into this day. They're still asking for tips. We don't know that. Threads, thank you for popping in here. Appreciate it. Hey, absolutely. See, don't drink or nothing, but hey, you can chug one for us, and that's the spirit I love right there, Tina. Thank you. Appreciate it. Way back here on the chats. It's going crazy in here. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Yes. Try to keep it light-hearted in here, Brooke, as much as I can. Vancouver. What's up, Samantha? I love it. Thank you, Samantha. I love it. The different voice in here, Samantha. And bringing a lot of logic with it. That's the thing. Amber Chan always popping through. Love it. Colleen O, thank you for popping in. Trying to catch up here. Mandy, it's interesting to me that the PCA is based off DM's statement, but BF has evidence that is crucial and beneficial to the defense, right? Like, this whole thing has flipped everything upside down, quite frankly. It really has. Elizabeth, public trial, the truth comes out. And then the pre-trial is going to be public also. If we could get the truth before he actually has to go and face a jury, I think that would be good too. Angel, yeah, a certain other YouTuber can't accept anyone's opinion, if it's not the same as theirs. I hate that, and that's rampant on YouTube, even when they're on another YouTuber's channel. Absolutely not going to happen here, and I will not be dealing with any of that. And if I'm ever on anyone else's channel and they're trying to go down that road, I will probably not be on that channel for very long, because I'm not for an echo chamber. I'm not for this. I mean, at the end of the day, even when we disagree, you know how we're going to end up leaving here? As long as you're being rational, hey, I'll see you next time. We'll talk about it later. That's how you're going to end up leaving here. You're going to end up leaving like buddies. You're not going to end up saying, well, hey, screw you, buddy. And that does happen randomly, but those people have already showed their colors. Okay, that happens all the time. We see them. The purple one popping through here. Love to see it. Oh, right here, Babs Voislin. If I'm butchering that, I absolutely apologize, because you're a new member, a Buzzed and Confused member here at Publicly Buzzed. Appreciate that. Love it. Hell yeah. Trying to find it, Keister. I just got to where you said, please read my last comment. Oh man, if I missed it, I'm sorry. Was it the one about the position Bethany is in? I do not envy. Going down a little further, because I think I read that one. Apologize if I don't catch it here. I don't see another one. Maybe I'm missing it. There's a lot going on. I apologize if I missed that. But thank you very much, Babs, being in here. New member. Absolutely love that. That's true, Mr. Else. That's the truth. That's the scary part of this whole thing. How many people have spent 30 years in jail, and all of a sudden when new DNA technology or whatever breaks, which we're in that era now, right? Ah, sorry about that, bud. Here's the clothes you came in with. Good luck. Love Tina. Yes, important that the right man is caught. I just can't fathom someone spending most of their life doing good service to turn around and boom. No. Right. Manny talking about the Sheath going to Texas, right? Yeah, that story kind of dropped off. The Sheath was actually sent to Texas. That's where they found the DNA, because the original test done in Idaho, they did find the DNA. What will that be in court? Colleen. Whoa, in Portugal, 4 a.m. Well, welcome from Portugal. Like I said, people watch this thing from all around the globe. It's awesome. Love to hear that. Kim Aunt, welcome. Thanks for coming in here. I think if there was DNA in his car, they wouldn't bother with BF. Oh, a bunch of new names coming in here. Thank you guys. Cajun Chick, like to see it. Hope you're subbed up. Sub up, guys. Hit that like also as you pass through here. Help this out. Love it. Again, just passing some theories in here right now. Mountain Mama passing out memberships. Bubbly Waters getting one. Bubbly Waters deserves one. They put some work in here. Oh yeah, right here. And they can be crooked. That's absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct. And everywhere does absolutely have a drug problem. Now, Cajun Chick, I must admit, it's a little embarrassing tonight. I've got water. It's a Monday night. I did not expect to go live tonight. Please pop in here tomorrow night. There'll be a drink in my hand. And then Friday night there will be damn sure be a drink in my hand. But I hate you called me out on that one. J-Lord, actually, the Goncalves family on several of their different media blitzes critically implied the roommates were suspicious. But right when Bryan was cuffed, they backed completely off their riddles. Yeah, we got a crew in here tonight. People came for this story, Threads. What is going on with this YouTuber? What's this? Some shit breaking off on one of these channels? People can't handle the general discussion like this. Pookie, I've always been weaponized since I was 18. I really don't understand gliding through life in an innocent way. I'm more girl with dragon tattoo than Song of Bernadette. Pookie will fuck you up. Let's just get real. Mr. Mojo Ryzen, thank you for popping in tonight. Yeah, Keister Bunny, I'm sorry. I'm not. I did not find that. If it, send it to me again. And I think sometimes some of the chats get lost in here. I really do. I've seen people like come through and people actually talk to people, and then I try to find the names and I can't find them. Oh, Kimberly, definitely. Try to keep it chill as hell. And we talk about some really messed up stuff, so. Love Tina. Yeah. You popping through? Hit it up. You know what to do. Oh yeah, an embarrassing laugh from Cajun Chick. You better pop back through when I'm drinking though. Look at this right here. Pookie doing wild as hell out here. Wild as hell in the chat. The purple one. There was a tip called into the tip line and they know who did it, which put it in an underground operation, and also the tripod group camera recording everything from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. They've seen it all. I've heard a lot about this camera crew that was outside recording. So what's up with that, the purple one? Do you know the story behind that? Can you point me to anything that I've heard that, but I've never really seen any real, I mean, of evidence really. Yeah, now the water after a bunch of drinks is almost needed if you don't want to get that hangover now, Threads. Yeah, but what you would be hearing, Samantha, would be from just some of the stuff we've heard. There'd be blood-curdling screams coming from that house. It wouldn't be the normal party noises, I wouldn't imagine. Yeah, we read that earlier, Colleen. I read that one. I got to break that out into a video, actually. I'm sure it's already happening. Lee, thanks for popping in here. Appreciate it, Lee. Long time sub right there. Gang Blue popping through here, appreciate it. Exculpatory evidence simply means evidence that goes towards proving the innocence of the accused. BF's evidence is only a part of the total evidence, not the get out of jail free card overblown. You know, I kind of disagree with that because we don't know what it is. Again, I went on an insanely long rant earlier. You know, we don't know that. We don't have any clue about any of this. It could go either way. I'm not on any like hardcore fence. I'm on a hope fence that law enforcement haven't screwed this up for the family's sake. Like the bottom line on this is we need to see what's going on. And if it is something, it could be something as big as her having actual alibi evidence. We don't know. She doesn't want to come to this for a reason. Something's going on here. Like at the end of the day, we're going to find out. And again, whether it's for the media storm that she's going to be implemented in, that's going to be absolutely gross and horrible, which probably is what's going on, or if there's something that she doesn't want to relay because she would be taking up for Bryan Kohberger, that's the last thing she would want to do publicly. The way this thing has been sensationalized, the public would be going after her in a second. Like, it'd be crazy as hell. Trying to catch up with these here. Rachel Rach Sleuthy Goothy's last tweet says that in a request for the foreign subpoena, the one for Bethany, there are 3 redacted exhibits, like 3 pages blocked out after what we could see. Wow. D-Mix conspiracy. D-Mix, welcome in here. Appreciate it. Yeah, send me some tripod information. PubliclyBuzzed@gmail.com. I'd love to see some of that, guys. Stevie Irwin, thank you for popping in here. Camera crew is just one singular comment made in a thread where someone says they are in a film club and had a tripod set up in the forest behind that house, but wouldn't say why and never replied again. So that's where it all comes from. Because I've seen that just mentioned time and time again, but again, I've never actually seen anything like at the end of the day. It was food truck guy. We did a pretty deep dive into the food truck footage on Friday's stream last, and I think we're going to go back into that actually. That had a lot of people talking and really kind of, and I was looking at it in a completely different way. It was weird. Kind of revisiting that. Whoa, Unravel coming through with, again, a random theory or thought. And she says that herself. Could BK taken one of the girls since the reason he came back, then the reason they didn't call? I've never even thought of that. Wouldn't that be something that's buried in the gag orders? Uh-oh. Buzz Killers, that's right. Membership. Thank you all for joining up tonight. Appreciate it, guys. Dope as hell. That's right, Threads. Finally starting to catch up here on this chat. Y'all been kicking its ass tonight. Fire ass chat. Love it. Lots of good questions coming forth. Let's look at the poll up here. 223 votes. I like that. Do you think Bethany Funke can give info to exonerate Bryan Kohberger? 50% yes is winning over the other options of no and not sure. Not sure was next with 27. But yeah, yes. 50% of the vote going to, they think that she has some information. That's over 200 people voting that. Nice little pool there. Not the biggest pool, but a nice little pool. Oh, Eve Lucky coming through with the $20. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. That goes straight to the channel. Anything, members and people that give super stickers and chats, that makes you guys producers of this show and the content on this channel. Everything is going right back into this. I'm getting ready to actually get like one of the soundboard things so I can add some sounds to this. See if I can make it a little bit more interactive. But yeah, thank you so much, Eve Lucky. New member here as well. Kicking ass already. That's awesome. Queen of the chat. We're definitely going to be revisiting the grub truck footage though, guys. Keep that in mind. I'm not exactly sure when, but I'd like to do that with Dan. Of course, Dan was sick last week. He'll be joining me probably Thursday. And keep in mind, tomorrow night, I've got to check. I've got to make sure it's still on. I'll be here regardless, 9 p.m. Eastern time, but I may have a special guest with me tomorrow night and a special type show, which would be cool. It actually wouldn't even be Idaho related, but it'll be a guest that you guys should know from another channel if it works out. And even if it doesn't happen tomorrow, because they do have something going on in their real life that I just got to make sure everything's cool with. Even if not, then it'll be a future show, because I've got something cool, hopefully planned out, and we'll see how that works out. But yeah, just keep in mind, tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, I will be back. Cajun Chick, most likely BF, has something that would help Kohberger be exonerated, and she doesn't want to testify. Like, Bonbon's coming through with some knowledge too. I hope you're subbed up, Bonbon. I'm sure you are. Oh, now this is true. Now this is an absolutely thing that is definitely happening, right? Cajun Chick, how could you go through an event like this and not have some form of PTSD? You'd have to. You would absolutely have to, I believe. Oh yeah, absolutely. If he's innocent, his life's ruined too. Like, you can't recover from this. I guess he could write some books and sell some movies maybe, but... And then there'll always be the people that think you're guilty, though. Always. You can't... Some of these... I've discussed it many times on here, the camps that form. The camps that are out there are really the worst thing in any form of anything in life. If you believe wholeheartedly in one thing... I don't know what to say, honestly, because I don't believe wholeheartedly in anything. Like, I need to see, until there's evidence, until there's facts, until I can see what's happening. That's what I meant there. Like, after you can actually get the information, sure. Yeah, but we don't have anything yet, man. This is so lackluster. Even with all that we have, we're still just putting together a puzzle, 100-piece puzzle, 500-piece puzzle with like 50 pieces, actually. Like, we need more, but this is one of the biggest pieces yet, because it is interesting. It is so interesting. I want to know what they found on the defense's side that makes this unique information experience to Mrs. Funk. You know, what is that information? How is it unique to her experience? What exculpatory information does she have for the defendant, Mr. Kohberger? We need to know. What did Richard Bontanti, Bitonti, butchering that all night long, criminal investigator, find here? Bethany Funke resides in the state of Nevada. It is necessary to subpoena this witness because the witness testimony is material and necessary to this case. They think it's necessary. They've went enough far out to get this affidavit and subpoena her in Nevada to get her to Idaho. And they want to do it for the pretrial before this gets to a real trial. So, I mean, something's going on. Well, I can't play that on here right now. I'd get this one demonetized quickly, but we'll definitely do something where I can play some music on here, Pookie. A members only stream would be perfect for that. Once a month, if you are a member, you get a members only stream also. It'll be a regular show. It'll be one of these Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday night shows. It will be a members only. So keep that in mind. We've already done an April one, but a May one will be coming. So may do something like that for you, Pookie. Play some tunes. You'll have to check it out. You have to see. William, thank you for coming through here. Appreciate it, bud. All right. No, he's not ruined his life necessarily, says Bon Bon. He can sue the hell out of Moscow, Idaho News Nation for the defamation, and then move out of the country. I like this right here. Bitch Franklin. Anything is possible. Make it skip. Put in like a CD and make it skip. Hey man, that wasn't playing clearly now. Why are you gonna hit me with that copyright for? Oh. Whoa. For real? That's crazy. I do see a lot more people going down that road, Bonbon. I really do. Christy, coming through. That's where I'm at. We had a couple of trolls come through here tonight as well. Had to take care of them. Always a couple of shit bags that's going to pop through the old chat. Mandy coming through. The investigator has worked with Ann Taylor before and gotten a woman off murder charges. Wow. Apparently he's pretty damn good. Love this chat though. I love it. It's very diverse. Lots of free thinking, diverse thoughts going on. Good stuff. No one has to agree, man, but we can all diverse here. You conversate. Stevie's coming through. Stevie Irwin. It's looking at Cougar Ann Taylor now. Better look out. I can't wait to find out if we're going to be able to see this trial live, or if it's going to be like the Lori Vallow thing going on. If you'll have to get it, you know, kind of after the fact. Guess we'll figure that out even with the prelim, right? Samantha, they are protecting the evidence with the gag order for some reason, and I think it's because they're protecting Bryan since he has the right to a fair trial. Unravel coming back with the theory she was at earlier. Could DM hear BK say, "Don't worry, I'll help you"? What if it was said to BF? Then he took her and then brought her back the next morning. That's Unravel coming through with her theory there. I don't really watch a lot of the Tyler Feller guy, I must admit. I've seen some of the stuff that he's posted, and I've even clipped through some of the videos, but I've never really watched them. No disrespect, but I just haven't. I hear Bonbon. I like Tyler as a person. I think he's running his channel pretty crappy at the moment, kicking people out for having a different opinion. See, that's what I'm not for. I'm not for that. Will never be for that. But right here, a Cajun chick. Quash can also be if the subpoena wasn't issued correctly, like in the state of Nevada, probably. I know everyone's getting on Peter there. You have to have paperwork in Spanish, not just in English. I heard that too, actually. These creators need to calm her down. You can't just be booting people because they have some free thinking thought going on. William coming through with the 149 super sticker. Appreciate that, William. Thank you, bud. Appreciate that, man. It's badass. Hope you have a good night. Hope you have a good week, William. Always coming through with some comments on the videos. Yeah, anybody new in here, go check out any of the old videos. I have new videos that pop up all the time. I popped one up yesterday that's on this. You know, support the channel. I've been going about 2 hours tonight. I appreciate everybody for coming and hanging. We've got 136 people just hanging out in here. Went over the 100 like. Love it, guys. Thank y'all so much. It's been a good show. Again, I wanted to go over this. I wanted to get the real lawyer you know's kind of perspective, because I thought he broke it down the best. I wanted to pass that along, and then also wanted to go into this a little bit myself and give a little bit of my own thoughts on it as well. And again, the media storm that is about to hit Moscow, Idaho. It's going to happen. We're within 2 months now. Right at 2 months. It's about to go down. The entire world is going to have their eyes there. But the question at this point in time, unless something else comes out, and I'm sure it will, is Bethany Funke going to have to be at the prelim? Is she going to have to be at the preliminary hearing, the pre-trial, to see, to give this possible exculpatory evidence that they think is enough to stop this from going to an actual trial? And I guess we're going to see. I think I saw you say that. Yeah, Willow. Thank you. Appreciate it, William. They really did, Bon Bon. News Nation started acting like a YouTube channel and started bringing on YouTube hosts. Now everyone's playing their clips, and their views are back up. You're 100% right. They are like a weird YouTube channel, right? Chris Cuomo, look at that ego going from CNN to a knockoff YouTube star on News Nation. You're actually right. You nailed it, Bon Bon. Already asked for Steely Dan. That's Steely Dan. You keep me to that, Pookie. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night. Regardless, we'll see what's going on. Well, my guys, my friends, my women, everybody, the Publicly Buzzed members and nation and the people that come through, I love y'all. Y'all kill it. Every single time, every single week, every single episode, you keep me motivated to keep doing this thing. We're gonna keep growing this thing, and yeah, it's badass. It's cool as hell. I love it. As you're heading out the door, folks, yeah, Tucker Carlson's gonna be doing these next, right? Glorified YouTube channel, Nomad Life, down it. That's actually what I was trying to think was the word glorified there, and I couldn't even get to it. Love it. Hey, whatever's paying the bills, I guess. Whatever's paying the bills for them. But as you're heading out the door, hit the like, guys. That, again, helps me the hell out. Helps out the channel. And if you're not subbed up, if you've made it this far and you're not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? What's going on? Come on. You know you like it. Hit the three little dots, though, because YouTube doesn't like to throw out the notifications, so at least try to help yourself out by hitting all once you do hit that three little dots, and then share this as well. That would really help me out. And then I'm going to drop this. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, look at this. Holy crap. The Discord just filled up with all kinds of new people. And I'm going to pop that link in real quick one more time. Again, in the Discord, we watch movies in here. We chat. We're going to be probably chatting in here after this goes off the air, throwing our theories around. And on this channel, right there's the link. Don't be a shitbag. Don't suck. That's literally the only rule. Don't be mean to anybody. Don't attack anybody personally. Don't be racist. Don't go after anybody personally, but you're free to think and feel however you want here. And I want to see it. I want to see what's going down and what's happening. Thank you, Threads. OG Threads and Roses right here. Longtime member. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Right there from Portugal. I love you too, and your brother Buzz, your beautiful team. Thank you. That's from Portugal. People all over the world are watching this. Thank you so much. It's dope. It's crazy. It's awesome. It's wild as hell. All right, guys, for real, it's 11:30 here on the East Coast where I'm at. I do have to wake up in the morning, get a day's work in before I even come and do this show again. And I'm excited for it. We'll see what's happening again. I will keep everybody updated. Hopefully the special guest will come through and we'll have a dope show. But yeah, again, join the Discord, hang out, and yeah, I will see everybody tomorrow night. Thank you all so much.
See, we shoot them up bang bang over here. We not scared of their motherfucking ass.